I wanted to do a little experiment where we put all of the best players who will be free agents next year on the same team and see how well they could do this season. But before we can go any further, we're going to need a team to host our impending free agents, and to find the team I went to Twitter for suggestions. Now this team is going to be pretty good, so I wanted them to play in a competitive division, and the AFC West is the one that kept coming up, and as the LA Chargers currently have the worst record, I thought they'd be the best choice. So to everyone on Twitter, thanks for the suggestions, and now let's take a look at the team. So here we are, week 1 of the 2017 season, and before we take a look at our roster, obviously, these are guys whose contract ends at the end of the year, so these aren't necessarily guys who will definitely be free agents by the time the free agency window opens. These are guys who could be free agents. Now, of course, they could be re-signed at any point during the season or at any time in the off-season before free agency starts, but these are all guys with 1 year left on their contract. That's all they had to be for me to be able to choose them. So let's take a look at the team, which starts with Drew Brees at quarterback, continues to go strong with Le'Veon Bell at running back, our second string running back, and our third down guy, Darren Sproles as well. So Darren Sproles and Drew Brees rejoining the Chargers in this scenario. John Kuhn coming over from the Saints with Drew Brees at fullback, and then our wide receivers. We got legend Larry Fitzgerald at our number 1 spot. Then we've got Jarvis Landry in the number 2 spot, and Alshon Jeffrey at number 3. Now we'll probably switch them around and put Jarvis Landry in the slot position. Then we've got Terrell Pryor as our number 4 guy. And then moving on to the tight ends, we've got Tyler Eifert and Jimmy Graham. 2 guys there very strong in the position. And then our offensive line, now this one is a little bit weaker, but it's still pretty good to be fair. Nate Solder at left tackle, Justin Pugh at left guard, Corey Linsley at center, Joe Berger at right guard, and Alan Barber at right tackle. Not bad whatsoever. Let's take a look at the defense. So we will start on the defense at the free safety position. Reggie Nelson with Maurice Alexander, who will be backing up both positions. We go across to Morgan Burnett at strong safety. Then our linebackers playing a 4-3 scheme. We've got Telvin Smith, Zach Brown, and Nigel Bradham as our linebackers, and Alec Ogletree will be, backing up all of those positions. On the defensive line, we've got Ezekiel Anza at right end, Timmy Jernigan and Benny Logan, our 2 defensive tackles, and William Hayes, our left end. And then our cornerbacks, very strong. Malcolm Butler, the number 1 guy. We got Vontae Davis as the number 2. Going back to Brent Grimes at number 3, and then all the way back across again to Trumaine Johnson at the number 4 position. A very deep, very strong group, but it doesn't stop here. We go on to the specialists as well, and our kicker will be Matt Bryant, our punter Dustin Colquitt, and then you can see, the roles that other guys are taking. We'll leave Le'Veon Bell as a third down running back there, but Darren Sproles is a nice option to have as a backup. And now we're ready to start looking at how this team will do. Injuries are turned off, all, pre-existing injuries are turned off, but that of course is a clean slate for all the other teams in the NFL as well, which means every single game will be the best of the best going up against each other, and that's going to be a tough test for these free agents, but just look at them. I think they can do it, and we'll go nice and easy to begin with. We'll take a look week by week and see how they do. So after week 1, we've got ourselves a 1-0 record. We managed to win that first game. Next up are the Miami Dolphins. So Miami Dolphins out of the way as well. We start with a 2-0 record now. Another tough test back into the division after our week 1 game against the Broncos. We play the Kansas City Chiefs. And the winning doesn't stop there. We go 3-0. So we're 3-0. We're facing the 1-2 Eagles. Can we keep this winning streak going? And there we go. We are now the exact reverse of the actual Los Angeles Chargers at this point in the season. Rather than 0-4, we are 4-0. A tough test coming up, an away game against the 3-1 Giants. It was not a tough test in the end as we go 5-0, beat them as well, and we're about to finish off our first tour of the division, taking on the Raiders. So we go perfect in our first tour of the division, we go perfect in the NFL, and now we start our second tour with the Broncos coming to visit us. And our first loss of the season, we go 6-1, the Broncos come to us and beat us, and now we have to go and visit the Patriots who are 5-2. And we lost that game as well, losing 27-26. We're now 6-2. 2 losses in a row, but this is another reason why the Chargers were the perfect team. After 8 weeks, we've played 8 games. We now have our bye week, and what a great time to take a look at the weekly awards to see if our players ever got any. So in week 3, Drew Brees threw for 400 yards, 4 passing touchdowns, and up to that point, it was it. And let's take a look at how Tom Brady did against us. 371 passing yards, 4 passing touchdowns, That's how they beat us. But enough of that, let's move on and hope we can get some more wins here. So the next game after the break is going to be the Jaguars at 3-5. And we get back to winning ways there with a 7-2 record. Let's see if we can continue this against the Bills, who right now are 6-3. And we're back to those winning ways. We go 8-2, facing the Cowboys, who are 3-7. But we drop a game to those 3-7 Cowboys. We go 8-3. Now it's time to face the 4-7 Browns, who now have the same record as the Cowboys have. No slip-ups this year. We managed to beat the Browns. We go 9-3. Now time to face the Redskins at 7-5. And we make it to double-digit wins, 10-3, with 3 games left in the season. Let's take a look at the standings right now to see where we are playoff-wise. So right now we're tied with the Falcons for the number 1 seed. That's obviously something we're going to want, but they are an NFC team, so at least we can get home field advantage throughout the playoffs if things stay as they are. So we know what we need. We know we need to win some more games, and we face off against the Chiefs, who we beat the first time round, but we did lose to the Broncos the second time we played them, and we have to go and visit the Chiefs at Arrowhead Stadium. Cross your fingers for a win this week. And we got that win, 11-3 the record, as we face the 6-8 New York Jets. And we brush them aside as well as we go 12-3. And now comes the final divisional game. Of course, it doesn't matter to us. Let's take a look at the standings, which are irrelevant. I'm sure we've got the first seed. And yes, we do. So do the Falcons, but we have home field advantage secured. There is no AFC team that can even get the same record as us now. There's only one NFC team that could get the same record as the Falcons, but that's irrelevant to us. We don't care. They may meet us in the Super Bowl, but right now we just care about finishing off this season against the Raiders and hoping to go 13-3. And we managed it. We went 13-3. What a spectacular season for the Chargers. And let's take a look at the stats. So the NFL MVP, Tom Brady, went 10-6 with the Patriots. Coach of the Year is Anthony Lynn. He did a great job collecting all those free agents. Then Offensive Player of the Year in the AFC is Ben Roethlisberger. Defensive Player of the Year is Ryan Shazier. They're just taking all the fun away. Best quarterback, finally Drew Brees comes in, so Ben Roethlisberger better as an offensive player, but not a better quarterback. Best running back going to Le'Veon Bell as well. And that was it for any awards for our players. I'm a little disappointed that we didn't get any more awards or anything, but those accolades don't mean much. What matters is the fact we've got a wild card bye week, and that we go into the playoffs with home field advantage and have got a good chance to go all the way. So divisional playoff round, we're facing the Patriots. They obviously have to come and visit us. They went 10-6 in the regular season. Tom Brady did win the NFL MVP award. So big game coming up. No guarantee we'll win this one, but we're confident in our team. They've done well all season. Can they make it to the conference championship round? And we win the divisional round against the Patriots. We face up against the Bills in the AFC championship game. The final hurdle in the way of the Super Bowl appearance for these impeding free agents. Can we get it done? And yes, we do get it done. Apparently behind Larry Fitzgerald with 167 receiving yards. The legend continues. We will be playing the Falcons in the Super Bowl. We managed to beat the Bills. Now we will take a look at Pro Bowl players. So let's take a look at the Pro Bowl here and see if any of our players managed to make it in. Drew Brees is quarterback number 1. Le'Veon Bell, running back number 1. We got our fullback in. John Kuhn made it in. Larry Fitzgerald, wide receiver number 3. Jarvis Landry, number 5. Tight ends. Tyler Eifert makes it in at number 3. Nate Solder at left tackle. Justin Pugh at left guard. We've got Corey Linsley in at center. Joe Berger in at right guard. And Alan Barber in at right tackle. Isn't that always the case? No defensive ends there. No defensive ends at all, actually. Defensive tackles, we don't get them either. Left outside linebacker, no. Middle linebacker, no. Right outside linebacker, no. What about the cornerbacks? Again, not a chance. No safeties. No kicker, no punter, but Darren Sproles makes it in as a kick returner. So we had a pretty Pro Bowl heavy team. Now let's move on to the only game that's mattered this entire time, the Super Bowl. So here we are. They've made it the entire distance. This team of impeding free agents, and look at them all, boosted with confidence, of course they are, have made it to the Super Bowl, 13-3, to face off against another 13-3 team. And now we would not be doing the big game justice if we did not simulate this game, but simulate it live, just playing the big moments. So let's pretend I meant to commentate it like this rather than forgetting to turn on the audio for this section of the video. We started our first drive with the run. It's a big moment. It's the first drive of the game, and we keep running with Le'Veon Bell, who's absolutely taking advantage of people. Then we go for the play action here, and we throw one to Larry Fitzgerald. He gets himself started here in this Super Bowl. And then on 3rd and inches, we run with Darren Sproles, who just squeezes past everybody in for the touchdown. It's a good start to the game. And at 9-0, we get the ball back again with another drive here. And Le'Veon Bell on this screen just making people miss, running around them. He's making it look easy. And then on 4th and 1, we're down 17-12 now. It's a few plays later in the second half, and we've got to go for it here. And we're going to pass it to Alshon Jeffrey. He dropped a couple earlier, but he catches this one and gets it done for us. And on 3rd and goal, we run with Le'Veon Bell, and he gets stopped short. We get the ball back in the red zone again. 2nd and 5, up 25-23 now, and a completion there to Jarvis Landry. He just couldn't take it into the end zone. On 1st and goal, we run with Le'Veon Bell, and he is in for the touchdown. We have just increased this lead. And now with 2:46 left, we get a chance to run the clock out here, and it's going well for us because they can't stop Le'Veon Bell. And then from the 44-yard line, Le'Veon Bell finding some space, and he's now breaking towards the end zone. He will be caught here at the 1-yard line. It puts him up to something like 293 yards rushing. We go in, power it in with Kuhn there for the touchdown. We're 9 points clear. 4th and 2, we're on defense, and they manage to get the first down. We give it back to the computer. 2 huge receptions by Taylor Gabriel puts them on the goal line, and then a 1-yard touchdown by Hooper puts them in within 2 points. And then they go for the onside kick. Obviously, they had to recover this. It is recovered by Terrell Pryor. The Chargers win the Super Bowl 39-37. What a scoreline. And there we have it, the Super Bowl champions, done mostly off rushing yards. They could not be stopped on the ground. Le'Veon Bell, of course. Let's, to explain this quickly, it's as simple as just going over to the team and taking a look at the fact that Le'Veon Bell is a 99 rated running back. What did you think was going to happen? A pretty good line in front of him. But, receivers and everything else, not necessary when you've got Le'Veon Bell, who definitely breaks Super Bowl records, almost breaks all-time records in the Super Bowl, which is even more ridiculous. And that is it. That is it for this team. Of course, they will all leave now because they all have 1 year left on their contract. That is them done. We didn't re-sign any of them when simming through the season, so they're out the door. It was a one-and-done season for these Chargers, and the experiment comes out successful. If you put all of next year's best free agents on one team, they can win a Super Bowl this year. If you turn off the salary cap,